I've had this footage sitting in my computer for like a month now, and I had no idea the story I was going to tell and what the lesson is for you guys. There is no story. It's just a chaotic mess. Stop taking life so seriously. Definitely stop taking girls too seriously. And when they start talking, they run in their mouth, they're telling you who they are, just believe them.
Supposed to get anything done when all I can think about is cum and drugs.
Now, I don't know this girl. She's an extreme example, though, of what you're up against. A lot of guys are wasting their time trying to figure this mess out. Is it daddy issues? Is it borderline personality disorder? Was she ruined by those gosh dang pickup artists? Like, dudes are taking apart a watch to see how it works when all they need to do is just start seeing what time it is. It's right in front of you. Stop trying to analyze it and just observe. Like, so I don't know this one, and I really don't care. I've removed the watermark on here because the instant guys find out who she is, I guarantee you they're going to drive over to her TikTok and start running their mouth about the shit she doesn't care about. Like, I'm still baffled. Someone they don't know existed 5 minutes ago, and now she becomes the source of all their problems. They're like yelling into a hurricane when they should be just going the way the wind's blowing. Sorry, guy. Your Disney fantasy is over. Stop yelling and realize if you want a girl to act right, you gotta be the kind of man worth acting right for. I'll show you a guy later who kind of acts more like you. Don't be that guy. Don't forget, no one will give a shit about how good your job is, so try again. So right now, a large portion of girls out there only care about having fun, living life in the moment, and letting their problems of tomorrow get sorted out by the plow horse men of today. And you know what? They'll get it too. If your first thought is to sulk and to think she's going to get her comeuppance when she hits the wall and turns 30 or whatever, it won't happen. Why? Well, because most guys have more money than you. Most guys are thirstier than you. And most guys have no idea how to attract a woman. So their best plan involves throwing money at the problem and saving her from her train wreck of a life in hopes that she'll throw gratitude at him and love him forever. Now, you tell me, how would you act if most of the guys around you refuse to have you live with the consequences of your own actions? I'll wait.
Dreams. Be a fucking quitter.
And here's the thing. If a girl's young, at least averagely attractive, and living in our great nation, she doesn't care. At all. She doesn't have to. She has a first-class ticket on the gravy train and all stops to give it to me station. They don't need anything from anybody. They can get it for themselves. Question is, what do you offer that's not a need, but a want? Bringing home the bacon used to mean there was a good way to get a wife. In the last generation or 2 or 3, women have been working more, and more work has been getting easier. So right now, bacon is $3 a pound at the grocery store, so what else do you got, chum?
I got Pfizer in my blood! Back on my horse shit! Who wants the 2 to 3 weeks?
I know a lot of guys are concerned about the pandemic, they're concerned about the testing and the safety of the jab, and according to YouTube, it's 100% safe and there's no reason for alarm. Having said that, chicks don't care. Half the population is willing to shove whatever into their body without a second thought. You think you stand a chance with that girl because you talk about rational logic and you're about as fun as a wet bag of dicks? Like, dude, nobody cares how smart you are. Save that extra 10% of gray matter for the next time you throw money at a woman hoping it turns her on. But not all hope is lost. Here's something you can learn from all this. 1. This is the life for attractive people. If you don't believe me, that means you have work to do. 2. Sure, the Instagram photos look 10 out of 10, but girls aren't always 10 out of 10. In fact, most look pretty dang meh. When you're talking to the hottest girl you've ever met, getting butterflies in your stomach, stumbling over your own words, just realize, women without makeup, without photos, without lighting, and without the right revealing clothes are just the same boring schlub as you are. The only difference is that you don't have hundreds of engineers dying to take you for a cruise in your yacht. 3. When she tells you who she is, believe her. You're allowed to only think about somebody in the short term. Like, most people are not designed for a lifelong relationship. So stop trying to do the Baja cross-country trip in your supercar. That thing is a quarter-mile, 30-day ride alone. Tops. And that's okay. I'll tell you right now, if you want a girl to settle down with you, you saying you want to settle down and hoping she says yes is not the way it happens. She shouldn't be ripping your phone apart. You should be ripping hers by the fact that she's so clean. But we'll get to that. The modern internet has made it so it's thrown in your face, and you have to be made of all kinds of new stupid to pretend it's not there. Dude, I'm not the most attractive guy ever, but just my time with the Royal Canadian Navy, I got to see some things. I'm just saying, it's out there, it's definitely pretty normal, and if you haven't seen it yet, that means you got work to do. So you can't bring bacon home, so what do you got? Well, I'm here to tell you some good news. You don't need to own a yacht. Sure, if you got one, she'll use it. She'll take some photos for her fans, flex on Instagram, show off on Facebook, but she doesn't care. Girls don't have to care. Every guy with a good job is stepping over their own dick to give her everything in hopes that she'll give them a little. She won't, though. Remember that stat? Can't remember who did it, but it was that MGTOW stat they're bragging about how the male brain was 10% larger than the female brain. You remember this? Well, that extra part must be the part that processes licking doorknobs.
I thought, oh boy, that is just weird.
For this larger size brain apparently guys have, we sure as fuck don't use it.
Isn't that exactly what I said the other way around?
Instead of bacon, be like Jake, not like JR. Like, I don't care who you've talked to about your looks, your face, and your body. If you take that stuff seriously, you can look good. Full stop. It's not just fitness either. It's not just a good haircut, it's not just good lighting, and it's not just decent photos. You have to have frame. Like, you can't be delusional about this stuff. And you can't ignore people around you. In fact, most guys, even though they aren't aware of it, have an unhealthy sort of narcissism to them. Narcissism can be a good thing. It manifests as extreme confidence, aloof behavior, and a grandiose sense of self-worth. It's because narcissism is the male disorder. It's an extreme version of man. Now, unfortunately, that narrative doesn't always display healthily. There's also the martyr complex. A narcissist is always the main character of their own story. But some guys just have to have that Russian dystopian story of the downtrodden slub who dies alone. Woe is me. The martyr fantasy is just as strong as the hero's journey, and they both run from the same disorder, the disorder of men.
Does anyone else have this issue in dating? Because it happens to me all the time. I will explain what my values are to someone and they'll be like, that's awesome, I love that. And then subtly, fundamentally disagree. And I will point that out to them and they will be like, well, just educate me, teach me, help me better understand. I love learning and growing together in a relationship. However, when it comes to my values, those are deal breakers. I'm not interested in changing your values to better align with mine. To actually believe those things to your core, you need to do that work internally, and it is extensive. I'm not interested in doing renovations anymore. You either come to me a fully formed human being who's developed a strong set of values and morals they do not compromise on, or we're not compatible and you won't see my cheeks clap. And now it's time to hurt my ego. Yeah. Oh!
If you want to be together, you gotta delete your ass and stop posting naked pictures.
Okay, get you son of a I literally you. You're never talking to me again. That's it. That's it. Bye. Or you think I'm deleting my OS you? I would rather get a new phone and change my phone number than have a try to tell me what to do with my life.
Okay, JR. Don't be this guy. I talked about the early frame announcement. I showed you an example of the early frame announcement. I talked about what women want or need today, aka want everything, need nothing, and I showed you the abundance that even the average looking woman can experience today. So watch this guy, or listen to this guy. See if you can focus on the parts where he went wrong. And to sum it up, a girl doesn't need anything. It's all about what she wants. Now, if you have to communicate, the answer is no. And when she tells you who she is, just believe her. And be aware, as the silver lining to all this, is as long as you can be the kind of guy that's wanted, not the kind of guy that's needed, you can enjoy stuff like this. It's literally what they used to call, back in the day, the secret society. They said all of women and like 3% of men are part of it. And they have like a whole different language. They have a completely different reaction to sex and to relationships. And as long as you can get in that group, you can learn the lingo, you can keep your head on straight, you can stop having really silly mental models that don't work, well then you can thrive in this space. And somebody from this space, who you could be interested in, will actually want to keep you over the long term. Yeah, that's another red pill coffee. Enjoy. I got nothing for you. Have a good one.
You want to tell me why the majority of people that voted yes, I can be submissive are men?
Just want to talk a little bit about why I love women.
And the majority that said no are women? I would love y'all to ponder that for a fucking second!
I love how they always make sure, by and large, they shower the feminine energy that girls put out. It's magnetic.
You think I can be submissive? You fuck!
I adore it.